My mother-in-law has a walnut dining table she inherited from her grandmother. It's over 100 years old, and she treats it like a museum piece. Then, her teenage grandson came over last Christmas, set a sweating cold glass on it without a coaster, and left it there for 2 hours. When my mother-in-law saw the white ring the next morning, she nearly cried. A furniture restorer she called quoted her $600 to strip and refinish the top. Before she wrote the check, I told her to let me try something first. $1, a clean cloth, and about 10 minutes of work. The white ring disappeared completely. The table looks perfect. And the entire fix took an evening. Let me walk you through why water rings form on wood furniture, why almost every home has at least a few, and the simple oil treatment that removes nearly all of them without refinishing. First, let's talk about what a water ring actually is. When you set a sweating cold glass or a hot mug on a finished wood surface, moisture passes through the finish and gets trapped between the finish layer and the wood below. Lacquer, varnish, and shellac finishes are somewhat permeable to water vapor over time. The trapped moisture scatters light differently than the surrounding dry finish, creating the characteristic white or cloudy ring. It's not a stain in the wood itself. It's moisture trapped in the finish. This is actually good news, because the damage is in the finish, not the wood. You don't need to sand the wood or strip the finish. You just need to get the moisture out. And there are several ways to do that, from basic to more aggressive. Dark rings, by contrast, usually mean the water penetrated through the finish into the wood itself. Those are harder to fix, and sometimes do require professional restoration or refinishing. For this script, we're focused on the white or light-colored rings, which are by far the most common. The $1 oil approach uses a few different household products, depending on what you have and how severe the ring is. The most effective and gentle is a mix of olive oil and a very mild abrasive, combined with the right technique. Mayonnaise, which is mostly oil, works similarly. So does furniture polish with oil content, or even peanut butter, which sounds odd but has a long tradition among furniture restorers because the peanut oil penetrates the finish and pushes out the trapped water. Here's what you need: a clean, soft cloth, a bottle of olive oil, about $3 to $5, which you probably already have. Alternatively, a jar of mayonnaise, which also works, a small dish of fine baking soda or non-gel toothpaste for slightly abrasive approach if needed, an iron and a cotton towel for more severe rings, a hairdryer as a gentler alternative. Method 1. The simple oil method. Apply a few drops of olive oil to a soft cloth. Rub the ring area gently, in the direction of the wood grain, for a minute or two. Let the oil sit on the surface for 10 to 20 minutes. Wipe off excess with a clean cloth. The oil seeps into the finish and displaces some of the trapped moisture. For light rings, this alone may fully remove them. Method 2. Oil and baking soda. For rings that the oil alone doesn't fully remove, mix olive oil with a small pinch of baking soda to form a very mild paste. Apply the paste to the cloth and rub gently in the direction of the grain. The mild abrasive action of the baking soda works any stubborn areas. Wipe clean and check. Repeat if needed. The combination addresses both the moisture and any slight surface irregularity the moisture has caused. Method 3. Mayonnaise. For medium rings, apply a small dab of mayonnaise to the ring area. Let it sit for an hour or overnight for stubborn marks. The mayonnaise is mostly oil with some acidic content, and the combination is gentle enough to not damage finishes while being effective enough to pull moisture out. Wipe clean with a soft cloth. Method 4. The iron approach. For stubborn rings, lay a clean cotton towel over the ring, folded to about 4 layers thick. Set a clothes iron to medium-low heat, no steam. Press the iron on the towel over the ring for about 5 seconds, then check. The heat, transmitted through the towel, slowly drives moisture out of the finish. Repeat in short intervals until the ring fades. Be careful not to overheat and damage the finish. If the finish starts to look soft or shiny in a new way, stop. Method 5. Hairdryer. A gentler alternative to the iron. Direct hot air from a hairdryer at the ring from about 6 inches away for several minutes. The heat evaporates trapped moisture. Works well for light rings and is lower risk than the iron. Method 6. Toothpaste. Non-gel white toothpaste, the basic kind, contains a mild abrasive. Apply a small amount to a damp cloth, rub gently in the direction of the grain, and wipe clean. This works on many water rings and on other surface marks. For wood finishes, it's gentle enough to not cut through the finish when applied lightly. Method 7. For extremely stubborn rings, fine steel wool and oil. Grade 0W0 steel wool, the finest available, dipped in a small amount of furniture oil or olive oil, rubbed very gently with the grain. The combination of oil and the ultra-fine abrasive evens out the finished surface and removes the light scattering that makes the ring visible. Work slowly, check often, and stop once the ring is gone. This method is for experienced hands and stubborn cases, not a starter approach. After treating the ring, apply furniture polish or a thin layer of paste wax to protect the finish and blend the treated area with the surrounding surface. This final step helps ensure the treated area doesn't look different from the rest of the table surface. Now for some honest notes. White water rings, caught within a few weeks, are usually easy to remove. Rings that have set for years can still often be removed, but may require more aggressive methods. Dark rings, where water penetrated to the wood, are harder and sometimes require professional intervention. Different finishes respond differently. Shellac is most susceptible to water damage and usually easiest to repair. Lacquer and varnish are similar. Polyurethane finishes are less susceptible to watermarks in the first place because they're more waterproof. But if they do mark, they can be harder to fix because the finish itself doesn't respond as well to oil penetration. For antique furniture with original shellac finishes, be extra gentle. Shellac is lovely but delicate. Start with the least aggressive method and escalate only if needed. For new or synthetic finishes, like polyurethane, water rings are less common, and when they occur, they may require a more targeted approach or professional help. If a treatment seems to make things worse, or changes the color of the finish, stop immediately. Clean the area and consult a professional. Some finishes react to oils in unexpected ways. For rings that don't fade with any method, you may be dealing with a deeper issue, like moisture that's actually in the wood rather than the finish. Those require sanding and refinishing, which is a bigger project. Prevention is much easier than cure. Use coasters under all cold glasses. Use trivets under all hot dishes. Wipe up spills immediately, before moisture has time to penetrate. Consider a tablecloth or runner for formal dining tables that see frequent use. Apply a fresh coat of paste wax every year or two to maintain the finish's water resistance. For existing furniture you're worried about, a periodic maintenance schedule helps. Once a year, examine your wood furniture carefully. Address any new watermarks while they're fresh. Apply fresh furniture polish or paste wax to maintain the finish. Small, regular attention prevents the buildup of damage that makes refinishing seem necessary. The economic comparison: $1 for olive oil, maybe another $1 for baking soda, or toothpaste, tools you already have. Total, under $3 to fix most water rings, versus $600 to strip and refinish a single tabletop, or $2,000 to refinish an entire dining set. The savings are not marginal. One more thing about furniture care in general. Wood furniture lives longer in stable humidity. Extreme dryness in winter cracks wood and loosens joints. Extreme humidity in summer swells wood and can warp surfaces. A home humidifier in winter and air conditioning or dehumidifier in summer both protect furniture and make it last. For direct sunlight exposure, wood furniture fades and dries out. Consider curtains or blinds to reduce exposure on pieces that sit in sunny rooms. For furniture moved frequently, use felt pads or furniture sliders on the legs to prevent floor damage and the stress of scraping. And for the most treasured pieces, consider professional conservation. A professional furniture. Restorer can assess condition, address structural issues, and apply conservation-grade finishes. The investment is worthwhile for pieces with sentimental or monetary value. But for the typical water ring on the typical table, an evening with a cloth, a little olive oil, and patience is all it takes. If you have furniture in your home with water rings you've been living with, start this weekend. A few drops of oil, 10 minutes of attention. The damage you thought was permanent often just needed someone to know what to do, for less than the price of a cup of coffee.